Welcome to Press Play, where we talk with high-performing individuals about what they do when the laptop closes and they get a chance to unwind. I have here with me Toni Murphy. Hi, Toni. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. I had a chance to talk with you earlier this week, and I just so enjoyed our conversation. I wanted to continue it on here on Press Play. You are an extraordinary woman who does so much.
Thank you.
And right now, I mean, I can't wait to get into so many things. Like you know so much about influencer marketing and business consulting, and we are definitely going to get into that. So,
Mhm.
but before we dive in, tell me if okay, this is actually being recorded on a Friday. Probably
Yes.
shouldn't say that. But so on a typical Friday night, what do you love to do? What are some of the things you just love to do?
I love music. I love live music to be exact. I am a big like R&B, jazz, classical type girl. So if I have free time, I will be at like a jazz spot, having a glass of wine, eating some. I love pizza. It's like my guilty pleasure.
Me
Um,
too.
yeah. So just relaxing and trying to unwind from the week, and just trying to enjoy myself. But music, food, and wine go to.
We sound like we could totally just do a girls' weekend. That sounds perfect. So, oh my goodness. And so you go to your like local park, maybe go for walks, things like that. That's something you enjoy. Tell me about that. Like, does that like kind of an after work thing that maybe just is also relaxing? Um,
Yeah, it
yeah.
definitely is. It depends on what my schedule is looking like because I can go before work or I can go after work, but it's a way for me just to like ground myself, if that makes sense, and just kind of look at the scenery, look at outside, hear the birds, even like listening to other people's conversations. And like it just kind of brings me down and it relaxes me. And it's a good way to stay active and exercise, right? So I am not like a gym girly. But I love to walk. So if I can walk 4, 5, 6 miles, then I will do that versus going to like lift weights.
Amazing. I need to get on that track for sure. For sure. Something that you also told me, like you in your career, in your professional side of you, you love like helping people. And I find that like also being part of your hobby almost, like meaning that's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's what you enjoy doing inside and outside of work. And I just find that to be incredibly inspiring. Tell me a little bit like how do you love helping others and like kind of what got you started in like looking at other people's businesses and problems and going I can help with that.
Yeah, so helping people started with, I guess, me helping me. And let me try to explain that a little bit better. When I started my business in 2015, there were limited resources, especially where I'm originally from. And so once I got to a certain place in my career, I always wanted to give back. I always wanted to, find that next person or that next generation where I can just like lend a hand out to. And so that's where that came from. And it just stayed with me. I always see people who are looking to build their portfolio or trying to break through the industry, whatever that is. And I just love if I can assist you, I will definitely help. Like, I just feel like there were women and people along the way of me building my career that just, gave me not I want to say handouts, but they were like, hey, I can see your potential. How can I help? And I just want to be that same person. It's always about giving back, but looking at other people's businesses actually kind of was an accident. I started my business, and when I started my business, like I said, I had limited resources, and so limited resources mean that I became everybody in the in the company.
Yes.
I became the website developer. I became the logo. I created logos. I created the brand message, and I did all of this for my company. And my first client actually reached out to me and was like, hey, I love what I see that you're doing. I see it all over social media. Who helped you? And I'm like, oh, I did it myself. And she was like, can you help me? And that's literally how it started. It was just
Oh
like
my
once I
goodness.
finished with her, it just kept going.
Wow. And I mean, just in our conversation even previously, I got to feel, like, how much joy that gave you, and I was, like, so inspired by it. I was like, "Yes, we've gotta, like, figure this out," because I totally wanna share that with the world that
Mhm.
you have such a unique vision of helping people, but also, like, I love that you've shared with me that you love fashion and beauty
Yeah.
and that side of things and helping people in that industry. Like, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so my career actually started off when I was 18, and I was a wardrobe stylist or upcoming wardrobe stylist. So I've always loved fashion. I was a little girl who was in her mom's and grandmother's closet with the heels and the hats. That was me. And
Oh
so
my
my dream was to be Beyonce stylist, right? Like that was like the
Oh, yes, because 'cause you're in Houston, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
you've
Um,
got that.
And so I started off as a wardrobe stylist, and that took me to Atlanta. And lived in Atlanta for about 2 years, and that's where I really got the experience of being like an image consultant and learning about
Mm.
branding. I didn't know anything about branding. I just, I wanted to make people look pretty, right? And so in Atlanta, I was blessed to work for two amazing women who taught me a lot about just the business, branding, and also image consulting. And so when I came back to Ohio, that's how Top Style Branding came to life. I merged image consulting and branding into one company.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. And then I know without even naming names, I won't even name, but you actually are helping a very, very huge international
Yeah.
organization right now that came to you and said, how do I like navigate the influencer space and things like they're asking you, they're picking your brain
Mhm.
and tell me a little bit more about how you tapped into the influencer space, how you are connecting with others.
Yeah, so the influencer space also I feel like I kind of stumbled upon because when you're thinking about branding and promoting your business, you need a face, right? You need somebody who's going to do reviews or message back and tell them about a product or a service. You need someone who's going to be actively promoting your brand. And so when I started to build my clientele needed a lot of them did not want to be the face of their brands, and it's perfectly fine. But somebody has to be. So
That's
it's like
right.
so from there, I was like, okay, well, if you're not going to be the face, then we have to figure out who's going to be the face. And that's how I got into the influencers. I also had a model agency back home for a little while. And so I was able to like nurture models into influencers. And then over the years, I was able to like do contracts for them, get brand deals, things of that nature. And honestly, it kind of happened by accident. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I want to represent influencers or I want to represent models. I saw a gap in the industry and I was like, my business has to keep going. So I just
Yeah.
learned while I went. And yeah, and now I can launch influencer programs from scratch to finish. So here we are.
I think that's fascinating, and I really mean it that you have, a huge international brand that's tapping into you for your expertise in that, and that's really amazing. And tell me, how I know that when we talked, and so I was so fascinated by this as well. You shared with me like you love looking at people's like businesses problems and consulting, like telling them what they can do to get to that next step,
Yeah.
whether they're at a plateau or need to bring their brand back. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just really have a passion for number one people, and I know that it's a God gifted talent to have someone come to me and give me their vision and give me their ideas and I can make it tangible. um, that's my gift. And so in any way, shape, or form, when somebody comes to me and they don't have clarity around their brand or sometimes just clarity around life,
Mhm.
I use my experience and I use my knowledge, but I also use that I'm a human first, and I get it. I get that sometimes we get foggy, we get disconnected from our brands. We get I've experienced this where you're getting more clientele maybe in one area you didn't even ask for, but bills have to be paid. So now you're focusing on a place that you're not passionate about. So I love helping people come back to that passion. It's just I've lived it, and I'm still living it, and so that's where my passion comes from, because I can firsthand just relate to people, number one, who have a vision and a dream, and maybe you don't have the resources, or you came from a community that there's no one around you who's in entrepreneurship. So I understand if I can help and give back and just bring clarity to anyone surrounding their brand or business, I'm more than happy to.
I love that. Yeah, we um just talking with you, even it just got my wheels turning and was so excited. You also, many, beauty and fashion, but nonprofit, a lot, a variety of different industries. How do you see nonprofit space and like helping other nonprofits if they're asking for, like, how do we get influencers, how do we get ahead?
Yeah. So the nonprofit space is a newer space. I've been in it for about 3 years now. It's very interesting. Obviously, most nonprofits are working with a smaller budget, but that does not mean that you do not have the capability to have an influencer program. There's ways of getting around to, like, basically pitching your brand deal as you to the influencer as, okay, if you come on and be my influencer, you have to give them some type of incentive, maybe depending on what your brand is. Maybe it's a discount, maybe it's a trade for print is what we call it in our industry. So maybe you're swapping services. There's so many different ways, but if you do have a bigger budget, the influencer industry is not going away. It's expanding. It's going to be even bigger in 2026 and the years to come. So if you do have a budget, there's ways that you can create a beautiful package influencer program that will enhance your business and brand, but at the same time, you will also cater to the influencer. The influencers do the work. Like, they literally do the work. It's a job. I back up influencers all day, from shooting, editing, getting the brand message. It's a lot that you have
It is a
to
lot.
do, yeah, to be an influencer. But honestly, like the nonprofit who I'm currently working with, it literally, we doubled followers within less than 2 months for utilizing our influencer program. So it's something that is definitely, how can I say it? It can be challenging for someone who may not know how to scout influencers or how do you vet them and the contracts and things of that nature. But once you get the foundation down, and you get the influencers that you can trust and that you know that's going to show up for your brand well, then from there it's like sky's the limit. They literally do the work for you.
Wow. And I know this, the nonprofit you're talking about, when you say you doubled their followers, I know it's by the thousands. So
Yeah.
it's like super impressive. We're not talking small numbers here. And I just find that amazing because you're able then to connect them with so many people and help in so many, so much more ways. How how do you marry that um with fashion and beauty? Do you help and I have a puppy here.
I
He
know, I
just joined.
heard.
I'm
Oh
like, "Oh my goodness."
my
Yeah, it's my
God.
puppy Lucky joining us today. But how do you marry the influencers with fashion, beauty? What's that like?
Do you mean like how I married them with like brands to work with, or just?
Yeah, yeah. Do you help the influencers find the brands and help the brands find them? Tell me, like, how does that relationship work?
Yeah, so I've been the middleman on both ends. I think because I understand business, I understand branding, and I understand influencing and creators. I'm able to be a great middleman for both parties. I understand how hard it is to be an influencer and a creator, and I understand, that sometimes you can get into these situations where brands can take advantage of you, or you may not know anything about contracts or anything like that, or you may not even know what to charge. That's where I can
Mm.
step in. And then on the business side, you may not even know where to start. And I know, especially moving into AI and things like that, a lot of businesses are getting a little scared about, okay, well, is this person even real? Like, am I hiring
Yeah.
a real person? Like, how do you scout and vet? And so, just me having the years of experience of knowing what to look for, what to ask for. I'm a great middle and a middle woman. Say middle woman
There you go.
to have on your team. But at the same time, I think I just lead with integrity, and I think that shows up in both spaces of business and influencers. And when it comes to influencers looking for brand deals, that can be hard as well. They don't know, what type of emails or messaging to send out. A lot of them, especially if you're just starting off, you may not even have a media kit. You may not even know what that is. And maybe you're
Mm.
sending like these cold emails, and they're not landing, and you're trying to figure out why. And that's where I come in. I'm like bridging that gap, of showing what you've done in the past. Even if it's little, you can still have a portfolio of what you've done in the past, but it's all about how you present it to the business and the brand. And I always tell influencers that I've worked with in the past, like, show up as a business. Don't just show
Mm.
up as like, oh, I'm just creating these videos. Like, no, you are a business. Like, you have hours, you have equipment you pay for. You know what I mean? You have to show you are the talent that is pushing this brand into a multiple audiences. Like, you hold weight. So walk into rooms as such.
Absolutely. You said something interesting about AI. I was playing around the other day and I actually posted this on LinkedIn. I was like, why did I do this? But
Oh,
I wanted to check it out. I like cloned myself and wanted to see if she could do some videos or something. And it was eerie, really eerie. But here's the thing, you cannot replicate a human. Really, there's so much thought that goes into things and nuance. I mean, maybe at some point in the future, but I was like, that was weird, but I could totally tell it was not right. Not human.
it's about the human connection, and influencers work very hard on building their credibility, right? So they're commenting to their audience, they are sending reviews, they're being honest and transparent. And that takes time to build that
Mhm.
confidence with anyone. It's just like a relationship. It takes
Yep.
time, takes trust. And once you have that trust, which is hard for brands to like now earn, you can utilize that influencer because they already have
Mm.
that trust within their community. You can piggyback off their community, and that can literally bring you a big return on investment if you do it right.
When you scout influencers or help them, are you looking for the ones that have mega followers, or is it about like what their content is? And, maybe I've heard the term micro influencers and things like that.
I usually not the like 2-3 million followers, usually because they're already represented by an agency. At least they should be.
Mhm.
Or they understand the business so well that they represent themselves, which is perfectly fine. I look for authenticity. I look for a community. So analytics, right? I'm looking, if you post a video, does your audience resonate with it? And does it make sense for the brand? So there's different
Mm.
things that I look for. I look for consistency. And then obviously I look for production. So how's your lighting? How do you speak on camera? Are you more of a voiceover influencer, or are you someone who's okay to have that camera, one-on-one action? So it goes, there's different factors that go into different ways of what the brand need is. So for the brand that I'm currently working with, I needed influencers who weren't afraid to be on camera speaking.
Mhm.
um, I'm okay with voiceovers, but I love when they speak and they're showing the fashion, they're showing the styles, they're showing how to dress X, Y, and Z, because that's what people want to see for this specific brand.
Absolutely. So I have not told anyone this, and so here I am just talking about it here on a podcast. But I don't want to be an influencer or anything like that. But you saw my little puppy that came. So recently, I created an Instagram account for him, And I got to see how hard it is to do the production and think about these things. So I am up to 300 followers. So thanks. And I'm like, I'm posting a lot, but the truth is it's because I love my dogs so
Yeah,
much that I have so much fun taking pictures and putting things together. But oh my gosh, there's like you're right about the lighting, the camera angles, the audio, the story you're telling, like why are you, you know,
yeah,
showing this? Is it funny? Is it serious? Is it uplifting? And I was like, oh my goodness, I how do these influencers do it? Because and you're so right that it is such a business. They are the CEO, the operations,
yes,
the production, the marketing, the development. They're
oh,
doing it all.
yeah, they are literally.
And I work in the news. And so my job is to work with the news. And I'm like thinking maybe in 20, 30 years, or who knows at what point, maybe there won't be a news. Maybe it'll just be all on our social feeds and you're getting your, news from whomever it is that you're following. These influencers are making it happen.
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of already it's happening right now. A lot of
Hmm.
people, and I am one. I don't really look at the news as much. Now, I do think that one day it could go into that space where influencers, it may not even just be an influencer. It's like even people like yourself, they have social media, right? So it
Hmm.
may be a space where like don't get mad at me, TV, where TV kind of goes more into
Yeah,
online platforms, because we
right.
already happening
Totally.
with streaming. So who knows? But I can see it definitely happening.
Yeah, there really is that shift, and so it becomes where it's like even more important to get on board with it now, understand how to use it now, and have these relationships because
Yeah,
that's where people are going for their info.
yeah.
um it's really astounding. I know, like, I'm on there, I'll be like, oh, I need whatever product, and so I'll go and see what people say about it, or if I need, whatever for my dog who just ran into my office again, and I'll like look at what people are saying.
Yeah,
And obviously I know that sometimes there are those paid relationships, but like you were saying, when you see someone talking, you just like can pick up on the authenticity.
right. Yeah, you really can. It's a natural human ability that we have. Yeah,
Hmm. And it's so different than advertising. Like, straight up advertising that, I mean, when I grew up, I didn't have these things. So I had like billboards, the magazines, newspapers. They don't talk, they don't connect, No
and
offense to ad people, but
oh, what I love about social media and just the space that it's created, it opened up avenues for people who may not be in the boardroom or, may
mm,
not be in corporate spaces. We're able to have a voice. You're able to have an opinion. And brands are really listening. Like they would change their whole marketing direction based off what's happening online. What's that conversation? And a lot of them actually put out little test marketing campaigns to see what the conversation is going to be about this campaign. So influencers and buyers and consumers have so much power today, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
I agree. And I just think it's funny. I'm in my head, I'm laughing because like press play is all about like what you do when you're having fun. But like what I gathered from your conversation with me, and we're very much alike, like this is what we do. Like
Yeah,
we
it's
love
fun.
business and we
Yeah.
love talking about things like where things are going and how we can help others. And so I'm just like, this is what we like.
It's so hard to answer that question. Like, so what do you do for fun? Um,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but I get it. I get it.
Solve problems.
Like, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. How about, where are you going with your company? What who should reach out to you? What's like the ideal clientele for you?
Yeah, so where I'm going with my company is not really rebranding, but rebuilding, restructuring So I'm really excited about that. I'm like in the thick of that right now. Because like I said earlier, I had to be everyone. I was doing the websites, the logos, and all of the things. Where now I'm looking to just consult and be a coach to companies and brands who are looking for, just those extra like tune-ups, those, tweaks, and or they need like brand clarity, or how we were talking about when we were speaking, maybe they just need some brand therapy is what I call it. And sometimes
I
you just
loved that.
yeah, sometimes you just need to like talk it through, walk it through with someone else. So that's what I'm looking for. The ideal client would definitely be like influencers. Absolutely obsessed with influencers. I love just the way that you can just have that creative mindset, the creative strategy, all of the things. But I'm also looking for, those corporate contracts for those companies who have no idea how to improve their influencer program. What does that look like? How do we even tap into this market? And especially the ones who are like fearful of falling behind. So I'm definitely interested in just assisting those companies as well.
Love it. Oh my goodness. And how should people reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn at Toni Murphy, and then you can also just email topstylebranding@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to assist you.
Awesome. And again, I love the name of your company, and I love all the things that you're doing and all the ways that you deconstruct problems and look at them and help people, and it is just fascinating. So, I know that we're going to be in touch. Let's talk again. And I appreciate your time today.
No, thank you so much, Jennifer. This was so fun. Thank
Yeah,
you.
likewise. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in and catch our next episode.
All right.
Thanks.